Okay, so it's kind of funny how another month has gone by, but this month is different. I remember posting how hard it was, April 27th, and the hurt and the pain and the sorrow and the grief and the tears. So what changed? The pain and the sorrow, it's been lifted off of me. And it's like being able to breathe again when you only had you could only breathe out of a straw before, but now you can take big gulps of air. And you just can't get enough of how good it feels to breathe again. Not just a little bit, but a whole bunch every single time. That's kind of what's happened here. And so it's a month later, and I'm just beyond thankful. And now what I can do is I can see things that maybe I hadn't been able to see before, like things in the scriptures that maybe I just couldn't understand before because of where I was in my life. And so I know in my last video I talked about 2 Corinthians, and I said 9 because that's where it started, but really it's in 12 that I've been kind of hit and feel this need to record it. And it's kind of funny because it was like quite a while ago, almost a week ago, and it's still feeling the impact in my life. And it's just opened up my eyes to who I am in Christ. And it sounds so cliched because it's used all the time, and people, they put it on billboards and plaques and all these things. But when you understand the importance and the impact of the words, it makes you go, oh, so it's such a big deal. But if it's not personal, then it won't make any difference. So today, I'm going to talk about two different parts. One is 2 Corinthians 12, and one is Galatians 1. So I wrote this down May 23rd, so 4 days ago, and I did a Bible study with my family, and it was really good. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should record this. And so then I read it over again today. I'm like, still pretty good. And then I was thinking about Galatians 1, and I think it all kind of comes together. So here's what I have for 2 Corinthians 12. Our trials, weaknesses, and struggles will and can bring us to a fork in the road. Are we going to press in closer to Jesus during this time, or are we going to allow these trials to consume our thoughts and our lives? So it's very similar to last message, but this is the part I took that's a little different. It almost feels counterintuitive to continue to bring these issues up in your daily prayer time, but that is exactly what you're supposed to do. So as a Bible-believing Christian and been loving Jesus for 16 and a half years, I feel like somehow I should have this all together. And I should be able to pray once and know that God will take care of it for me. Well, I know he can take care of it, but sometimes the problem is still there the next day. And so I try to bring all of my hurts, all of my pains, my thoughts, whatever, to my bestie. And I bring it up to him. And then I feel like, oh, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I'm not being a very good Christian because I still have this problem and I'm bringing it up like he doesn't remember. But then I also think about that verse in that story in the Bible of the persistent widower, how she just wouldn't leave that judge alone until he listened to her and solved her problem. And so I go back and forth with guilt because I'm still a perfectionist and I still think I should have it all together, even though I know I'm just a simple human and I'm nobody special. So way after you're done and tired of bringing up these same problems before God, you're bringing God into the mess, the junk, the worries, and the cares of your life when you bring it up to him every single day. If it's still something bothering you in your daily life, you need to discuss it with Christ. A daily walk with Christ allows you to talk with him every day about worries, issues, concerns of your day. It's an intimacy that only those with a personal relationship have. The familiarity where you can share the little details that make up so much of our lives. If you've ever watched two people talk, They barely have to say a sentence, and the other one's like, oh, how did that go? And you know how I've been dealing with this? Yes. There's no backstory because they've been in the story the whole time. They've been telling them the details as it goes on. And when you don't have to go back and tell them from the beginning, there's so much more that you can share about what you're going through. And you have to have that familiarity, that relationship with that person, that intimacy, that trust, in order to be able to share like that. We want the pain to go away, but then would we pray as hard and as often as we do? Could it actually be beneficial to have struggles and trials? Because if I bring up the same stinking problem every stinking day, something changes. Sometimes the problem changes, but more what happens is I'm like, okay, I'm still praying about it. I'm still praying about it. And then something happens within me. I'm a stubborn lady who wants to get my way, but all of a sudden, it just takes different times at different whatever's going on. I'll be like, maybe God's trying to teach me something here. And then bing, and then I start looking at the situation different. And before I know it, the situation may not have changed, but I have. So the trials aren't because I suck, like I said last time, but they're also a great opportunity to bring it up to God. It doesn't mean that I'm a terrible person, but what I'm supposed to do is cast all your cares on him, for he careth for you, and come boldly and confidently before the throne of God. And so if we're going up to him and we're telling him about what's going on, we are doing what he wants us to do. He wants us, come here, pumpkin. He wants us to put our head on his shoulder and just get love. Like when my baby's sick, what she wants is mama. And she wants me just to give her TLC. And she eats it up because that's my job. When she's sick, it could be a little cough. And I'm like, oh, no. And that's all she wants. And before you know it, she's all better. Did I do anything? No, I just got to love on her and remind her how much she's loved and how much I absolutely adore that child. God does that too. But we have to come to him and have that intimacy. And so there's one more part that I want to talk about, and it's about a relationship with Christ. So there's another part in Galatians 1 where he was talking about how people just so quickly walk away from truth and they just go and start walking with another message, and how we shouldn't do that. And I thought there's verses all over the Bible that I don't know where they are, but I have them memorized in my mind. And it's buy the truth and sell it not. And I know it's not in Galatians 1, but the idea is we cannot give up our salvation for anything. When Christ has been revealed to us, we must hold on to it regardless of who or what is being told. When I got my revelation, it was personal, and it helped me to know for myself what I believed. The revelation is so important because of the personalization. If it isn't personal, it won't have the impact. I cannot make others have a personal relationship. So what can I do then? I can have my very own personal relationship with Christ and encourage them as well. So it all goes together. I need to have my personal walk with Jesus, and I have to bring to him every single thing that's bothering me. The more I bring to him, the closer we are. I can't expect that my convictions will just come and jump over onto this other person. How would that be helpful anyway? I need to open up the secrets to our hearts and our lives to my Jesus. Okay, that's my job, is to go to Jesus and let God do what he does with me, with those that I love. Help us to see what holds us back from a closer walk with you. And that's something that we need to do every single day. I had a good memory, and I was holding on to it. And to find out that it wasn't reciprocated by the people who hurt me. And so it changed my memory. But you know what also has changed? The hurt, the pain, the sorrow, the grief. It's all gone. Why? What's changed? Me. By bringing those hurts and those pains to Jesus every single day and saying, God, it still hurts. It still hurts. I'm sorry, God. I need your help again. And I need your help again. I don't know why, but it still hurts. So now when I can think on those memories, I can just say, okay, Jesus, take care of this one too, because the pain is gone. So when I gave him those problems every single day, and when I gave him those issues, those little tiny ones, ouch, 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 it still hurts, it still hurts. Well, he was able to go in and carve out the hurt in a way that Maggie could never do it, because he's my bestie. I need to have strength. I need to have confidence that he can do that with my babies. I need to have confidence that he will do that with those I love. It's not my job to save them. That's his job. My job is to present my cares before him so that he can take care of it. And my personal walk can be genuine and above reproach, because that's what he's asking me to do. I'm not supposed to do his job because I am so not qualified. It's pretty powerful stuff, huh?